Greetings, Cancer and Cancer rising. This is your Western forecast for 2024. This year is a major transitional year for the world because the three outer planets that really impacts the world at large is in a transition of changing signs. But by 2025, they're all shifting into their next sign in harmony with each other. So the future looks good, even though there's a lot of chaos now. Part of that is part of all this transitional energies. But when I start looking at what are the overall trends for the year, I start with Jupiter, the planet of optimism and growth and opportunity. And I look to Saturn, the hard work, the responsibilities, sometimes the resistance. The Jupiter brings the opportunities. The Saturn triggers the responsibility and work to manifest the opportunities. So that's a good way to just keep it simple. Jupiter is a 12-year cycle. Saturn is a 30-year cycle. Jupiter went into Taurus in May of 2023 until May the 25th, 2024, at which point the Jupiter, expansive lucky Jupiter, leaves Taurus and goes into Gemini until June of 2025. The first 5 months of 2024, expansive lucky Jupiter is in Taurus, transiting your 11th, because Taurus is 11 signs past Cancer. The 11th deals with your long-range goals and dreams and aspirations. The 11th deals with groups and organizations. The 11th deals with your friendships. And the Jupiter can expand your social networking. The Jupiter can bring more support and generosity from friends. The Jupiter can bring you more hopefulness to be able to achieve your long-range goals. That's what's been set up every 12 years since last May. So the first 5 months that Jupiter remains in Taurus, impacting your 11th of your long-range goals. Then it goes into Gemini. But Gemini is the sign prior to Cancer. It's the shadow sector. Jupiter seeks knowledge and wisdom, and when it goes into the 12th house sector of the shadow, this is very favorable for a lot of spiritual or psychological inner work like counseling, but it's also very favorable for a lot of spiritual studies. But what I see most often that most people can relate to is Jupiter rules higher education. Jupiter is the great teacher. Jupiter seeks knowledge. And Jupiter going into the 12th house of what's hidden is often compels many Gemini or many Cancer people, Cancer rising people, to pull within, to pull away from all these more social activities, to study. It's a great time to research, to study, to prepare to get that degree, to get more professional training. The 12th house can also represent faraway places, foreign countries. Jupiter is about international travel. So that end of May 2024 till June of 2025, that Jupiter can also be very favorable for international travel. But since Jupiter is also seeks knowledge and spiritual practices of the 12th, this would be an excellent cycle of Jupiter in Gemini to go to a spiritual retreat, or to attend an ashram, or just a wellness center that you travel to. Now, Saturn, keeping that in mind, Saturn in Pisces from March of 2023 until February 2026. Saturn in Pisces. Pisces is 9 signs past Cancer. The 9th sector is the sector naturally ruled by Jupiter, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Follow me. Sagittarius is the 9th sign of the zodiac. So Jupiter rules the 9th, and here's Saturn every 29 and a half years is now in the 9th. The 9th can represent higher education, teaching, media, marketing, publishing, because the 9th house deals with the world, learning about the world, traveling out to the world, promoting your services out to the world. There's the media, the marketing, the publishing. The Saturn keeps you very focused and disciplined to achieve these aims. Now, the Jupiter in going into the 12th house, May the 25th, 2024, for 1 year, that 12th house is retreating, pulling within, which is why it's so great for spiritual practices, for doing a lot of soul searching, meditation. But it's pulling away to retreat, to study, because of Jupiter seeking knowledge. And Saturn, that responsible taskmaster Saturn, is moving into the 9th of higher education. Now, the 9th also represents travel, like long distance travel. And here's traveling Jupiter in the 12th house that can be more exotic foreign places. So that influence is being more triggered. Now, Jupiter goes into Gemini, and Gemini forms a hard angle to Saturn in Pisces. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But first, Jupiter in Taurus is going to align with unexpected, rebellious, revolutionary Uranus, April the 20th, 2024. Jupiter is a 12-year cycle, and then every 13 years it catches up to Uranus, which is an 84-year cycle. Uranus is futuristic, it's technological, it's revolutionary energies. Jupiter brings expansiveness, brings luck and opportunities. So every 13 years, when Jupiter aligns with Uranus, we'll be feeling it, the world will be feeling it strong through April 2024, but it's exact around the 20th of April. There could be some real exciting news about advancement in science, medicine, technology. That's all that expansive Jupiter to revolutionary, progressive Uranus. Now, for Cancer and Cancer rising, it's falling in your 11th house. The 11th house can represent friendships. It's one example. And so a friend or a close associate could bring you an opportunity that could really amp up your life, take it to the next level. You could get this unexpected surprise and opportunity from a friend. But the 11th house also deals with your long-range dreams and goals. And with that Jupiter-Uranus, you might be attracting a really exciting opportunity. It may seem like it's out of the blue, that could really propel you to achieve your goals and dreams. So that's April the 20th. Be feeling it all of April. Then May the 25th, Jupiter goes into Gemini, into your 12th house, which I've already discussed. But Gemini forms a 90-degree angle of this kind of inner tension to Pisces. So here's more restricted Saturn in Pisces is going to be blocking the expansiveness of Jupiter. Now, this is often it's a time of financial worries, frustrations, or any type of expanding and traveling and education may feel more restricted and blocked. This is only happening for the world in August of 2024. And for you, Cancer rising, you might be feeling more stifled or hitting a wall when it comes to education. But that also has a lot to do with traveling. And you might have to, travel plans may need to be altered. They may need to be canceled. That could also be all that publishing, media, marketing. And then that could hit a delay or a wall. But it's only happening once in August. I now want to examine the karmic North Node and South Node transits. For the most part, the reason why it's considered karmic, it's bigger than your ego. It's as if there's this big current of energy that is driving you, pulling you in a certain direction. Now, the karmic North Node goes through all the 12 signs about every 18 and a half years. And the karmic North Node is pulling us into our future. And it went into Aries in your career sector in July of 2023. And it's there till January 2025. So all of 2024, you're having this karmic pull with career matters, with your professional reputation, your visibility in the world. The South Node is always opposite the North Node. The South Node is about letting go so we can propel more easily towards the future North Node. The South Node could also indicate where there's a lot of reorganization going on to help better move into the future. So since the karmic North Node is in Aries, Aries is 10 signs past Cancer, the 10th sector, business, career. The South Node is opposite the 10th, which is the 4th of home and family. Now, one example could be that career opportunities could compel you to make changes in your family situation. Typically is a major job opportunity compelling you to have a change in residence. So that's all of 2024, but you've got some clues of this push, this kind of like being at the right place at the right time, many times, from the last half of 2023. Now, the other big theme are the outer planets that impact life changes. We got Pluto, Neptune, Uranus. And this is a big deal because they're all changing signs. So there's a big dynamic energy shift. And by 2025, we're entering a new paradigm for the world. And all these outer planets will be in harmony with each other. So I don't see the future getting more chaotic, but we are in a really transitional period where Uranus, liberating progressive Uranus, has been in Taurus in your 11th house of friendships, your long-range plans from 2018, and July 2025, it moves into Gemini. Neptune, that planet of inspiration, idealism, charity, creativity, Neptune has been transiting Pisces from 2012 until the spring or the end of April 2025. And it's been transiting your 9th house. The 9th house with Neptune could be taking spiritual trips, because the Neptune can be that spiritual energies, and that goes well with that knowledge-seeking Jupiter in the 12th house. That could be favorable for going on spiritual retreats. I said when the Jupiter goes into Gemini, May the 25th, 2024, for 1 year. The thing with Neptune is this year, 2024, it moves up to the last degree of Pisces and then stops and retrogrades and doesn't go, finally turns around and moves out of Pisces into fiery Aries until the end of April 2025. So you're having Uranus is at the end of its last full year in Taurus. Next year it shifts into Gemini. The moon, the Neptune, inspiring Neptune, is at the last degree of Pisces in the 9th. Now that 9th can mean studying, traveling. It's also very philosophical. And then we have Pluto. Now Pluto was starting to change signs. It's been in Capricorn in your 7th house of marriage and partnerships, contracts from 2008. And at the beginning of 2023, it moved into Aquarius briefly from the end of March to the beginning of June. Then it retrograded back into Capricorn, trying to tie up loose ends. Then in the first 5 months of 2024, from mid-January to the end of May, the Pluto is back in Aquarius. Then come June, it retrogrades one last time, making sure you've learned your lessons, because at the end of November 2024, the Pluto, transformational Pluto, moves into Aquarius and remains there for nearly 20 years. Now, when it was in Capricorn, that Capricorn is the opposite of Cancer. The opposite deals with marriage, contracts, the significant other. And with Pluto, there could have been massive changes, major endings, new beginnings. But we're getting some previews of 2023 and through the first part of 2024 of powerful transformational Pluto moving into Aquarius. And Aquarius is 8 signs past Cancer. So the 8th house can represent a number of things. It's a very complicated area of the chart because the 8th sign of the zodiac is Scorpio, and Scorpio is very complicated because it deals with power and wealth, but also sexuality. So this Pluto moving into the 8th over the next 20 years could bring about wealth, could bring coming into inheritance, coming into major financial settlements. But it's also, there could be major endings, major transformations. That Scorpio energy, the 8th house, it can also point to the occult. astrology, the psychic world. And Pluto wants to explore and go into the depths. So you might even be some of you might start taking a deeper interest in the occult or astrology or even in-depth psychology. Now, with these outer planets shifting this year and then moving into next year, changing signs, here's the good news. Liberating progressive Uranus is moving into Gemini, an air sign. And that could also, and it'll be there for about 7 years. And Uranus to Gemini could be really favorable for communications, technology. That's the Gemini. Uranus is all that progressive, inventive energies. Pluto, going into Aquarius, is an air sign. And so Gemini, it's very favorable with Uranus and Gemini, an air sign, as transformational Pluto goes into Aquarius, an air sign. So Pluto and Uranus will be in harmony in supporting one another. The Neptune is leaving Pisces, and at the end of April 2025, it goes into fiery Aries. And Aries is compatible, because it's a fire sign, with the Gemini and the Aquarius. So these outer planets that can make major life changes, major structural changes on the planet, are all going to be in harmony. But why all the chaos? Was it partly because we're wrapping up their old cycles and moving into a new? But I think one of the best insights is we go back to Pluto, the planet of transformation, endings and new beginnings. The last time Pluto went from Capricorn to Aquarius was during the French and the American revolutions about 245 years ago. And there was a lot of destruction and upheaval and war, a lot similar to what's been happening recently for this Earth. But the outcome, the results, was that America broke away from the King of England. The French people broke away from the King of France. It was the development of new personal freedoms. It was the development of the beginnings of a middle class, finally, and the grand experiment of democracy was being developed 245 years ago. And here we are again with all this upheaval and even this fear that we could lose democracy or it could be hurt. But I think because of what happened the last time Pluto went into Aquarius, which is coming up now, it's a reset. It is waking more people up to really focus on your personal freedoms and democracy. And so I think the future, once the dust settles, and we're still going into all this transition, that in 2025, we're going to start to see a new vision in the world. But it's just at the beginning, and that Pluto in Aquarius will be there for nearly 20 years. So I am really hopeful. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to sign up for my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next year, be safe and well.